Hello again, Mrs. Mitchell's group. This is your second lesson on rounding. Today we're going to practice rounding to 10 again. Okay, so your first job is to round each of these numbers to the nearest 10. Remember, the tens place tells us we're rounding to the nearest 10. The ones place tells us which 10 to round to. Remember the rhyme, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, climb the vine. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, how did we get on? Let's have a look over here. 37 rounds to 40. 44 rounds to 40. 19 rounds to 20. 12 rounds to 10. 98. Now that's a tricky one because the next 10 after 90 is 100. 75 rounds up to 80. 72 rounds down to 70. 23 rounds to 20. 66 rounds up to 70. 56 rounds up to 60. 88 rounds up to 90. 91 rounds down to 90. And 55 rounds up to 60. How did you get on? Okay, we can use a place value grid to help us with our rounding. So if I take this first number here, 159, I can make it on my place value grid. 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 59. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, remember, we're rounding to the nearest 10. And if I round to the nearest 10, this is the place that I need, rounding to the nearest 10. This is my target place. And the ones are going to tell me whether I keep 5 tens in there or whether I put an extra 10 in and make it 60. I've got 9 ones. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Climb the vine. So when I round 159 to the nearest 10, I'm going to round it to 160. Got an extra 10 in there. You notice that I don't touch the ones place because it's the tens column that I'm rounding to. Have a go at rounding the next set of numbers. You can draw a place value grid if you need to. Get a grown-up to help if you find this tricky. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so using the place value grid, 137 rounds to 140. 268 rounds to 270. 121 rounds to 120. And 316 rounds to 320. So we're going to look at these numbers now and we're going to work out when I round 357 to the nearest 10, what do I get? So the 500 is going to stay the same and I'm going to look at my tens place. That's got to decide whether I keep that number at 30 or whether I round it up to 40. And the digit that's going to help me to remember is this one here, the 7. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, climb the vine. So when I round this to the nearest 10, it's 540. So the correct answer is this one here, 540. Let's look at the next one. 704. 704. My 700 stays the same. I've got to decide, do I round this down to 700 or do I round it up to 710? And the 4 is going to help me. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fall, slide to the floor. So I've got a 4 here. And so I'm not going to round it up to 710. I'm going to keep it at 700. So the correct answer is this one here. Okay, children, so now it's over to you. You've got 3 to have a go at. You're going to round these numbers to the nearest 10 and find the space rock that has the correct number on it. You can use a place value grid or you can use a number line. Get a grown-up to help you if you struggle. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so 670, when I round it to the nearest 10, well, that's really easy. 670 stays at 670. I don't seem to have. I'm looking now. It's the other way round, isn't it? This one says which rock will round to 670. Which one of these rocks will round to 670? And I know that this one will round to 670. And now I've got to round 345 to the nearest 10. Which one of these is 345 rounded to the nearest 10? 345 rounded to the nearest 10 is this one. Which space what will round to 220? Which one of these rounds to 220? And the one that rounds to 220 is this one. Pause the video and have a go at these. How did you get on? 843 rounded to the nearest 10 is 840. Which one of these space rocks will round to 600 when I round it to the nearest 10? And it's this one here. Which one of these is the rounded figure for 934? The rounded figure for 934 is 930. Okay, for the next part of our lesson, we're going to go to the Top Marks website. So if you Google topmarks.co.uk and find the rounding rocket, or you can pause the video and carefully copy down that address. So when we get to the Rounding Rocket website, we can round using a number line or we can round with no number line. I'm going to try the first one, rounding numbers up to 99 to the nearest 10 using a number line to help me. So I've got the number 96 and it's here on my number line. Is 96 nearest to 90 or nearest to 100? It's nearest to 100. And now I've got 41. Is 41 nearest to 40 or nearest to 50? It's nearest to 40. 35. Now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, climb the vine. So 35 is nearest to 40. Okay, so you can practice this game, or if you want a challenge, you can do 2 things. You can try using 100 numbers that we're going to round to the nearest 10. So 228 is closest to 230. 13 is closest to 10. 507 is closest to 510 rather than 500. So that's part of your challenge. You could try using the next set of numbers up, or you could try doing the job without a number line. And now you have to think carefully. 81. Which multiple of 10? I don't need this one, it's not a multiple of 10. Which multiple of 10 is 81 closest to? 47. Don't need this one, it's not a multiple of 10. Which multiple of 10 is 47 closest to? Okay, so you have lots of choices if you can find the rocket rounding on the Top Marks website. You can start with a number line and practice these 2, or you can challenge yourself with no number line. It's up to you. Have a little go, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.